So I've been wanting to share something with you guys that I've been noticing because I've been spending a lot of time on the MLS, which is basically your multiple listing service where homes are listed for sale. And I've been working with a lot of clients that started out on the market, and for some reason they sort of just started dropping in price until they eventually just fell off the market and didn't sell. So what is happening with that? You might be thinking, well, it's probably just not a good time to sell. Maybe the market's going down. And actually what's happening is they just started out with a very poor pricing strategy. So there's three ways that you can price a home. The first one is you can price it out of the market. When you price it out of the market, you start off too high and you eventually have to start dropping the price over and over until you either sell at below market value or you end up not selling at all. You end up missing this critical moment where you have the most interest in your house from buyers. And even if you do get to that market value point, your house has been on the market for so long that they're sitting there wondering, what's wrong with the house? They don't trust the condition of it, so they end up moving on to another one. Now, a seller might also think, well, if I price higher, then we can just negotiate and meet somewhere in the middle and I'll get what I want. Unfortunately, it's just not the case. The buyer will usually end up just declining the offer and even the house, and they move on to the next one. Now, the second way that you can price a home is what we call limbo land. And in limbo land is when you're basically meeting in between too high and at market value. Now, as a seller, you might be thinking, oh, I just need a little negotiation room, it's fine. Now, a seller might actually get a buyer to come look at the house, but they're going to be very hesitant to make an offer because they're seeing right through what's happening, and they're just going to move on to another house that is actually priced properly, so they're not wasting their time trying to negotiate with a home that they might not be able to get. Now, keep in mind, 80% of buyers that purchase a home are purchasing through financing. This means that if you need to sell this house, it must appraise for the bank to close on it. You essentially alienate 80% of your potential buyers just by overpricing your home. That is a lot. So you might think, well, what if I just do a cash buyer? And it could work, but keep in mind, when people are buying a house with cash, they're wanting to get a good deal out of it because that is a huge investment up front for them. So it needs to be worth it for them. And that good deal means that they're going to give you an offer that is below market value. And that is the exact opposite of what you're trying to do. Now, the third option is where I work with my clients to help them get in the market range. This is going to drive up demand. You're going to get more buyers coming to the home for showings, and more are going to be flocking to the open houses. And this is going to create basically what we call FOMO, fear of missing out. Everybody wants the new hottest thing on the market. So what they're going to do is they're going to say, I want this house before anybody else gets it, and I'm willing to pay more money for it. And sometimes that's what we call a multiple offer situation. So you might end up getting a little more extra in your pocket than you thought you could have otherwise. This happens all the time. Now, you don't want to be the house that's sitting on the market day after day and then eventually dropping price after months go by to just fall off of it and waste all of your time. So if you want to avoid falling off the market and doing it right the first time, send me a message and I will help you create a personalized marketing plan.